Morning.
We're still waiting on some people to get us started. So apparently they don't have an alarm clock on their watch. Randy! Oh my goodness.
Well, good morning, special day post on. Please stand and join me in prayer. Good to see everybody. Let's pray. Lord Jesus, we just thank you for this day, a special day for us today, Lord. It's all because of your goodness, Lord. We just pray, Lord, that today is filled with joy and happiness, Lord. And we pray for this worship, Lord, as we go into worship, Lord, and we just give our hearts to you, Lord. And we pray for the message, Lord, that we open up our hearts and minds to hear what you have to say today, Lord. We pray for the fellowship afterwards, Lord, and we just have a great time, Lord. And we thank you for all the things you've done for us, Lord Jesus. We are a blessed church. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Just fine. Anywhere you can. Hey, brother.
I can see darkness has faded me. Walls of fear, brick by brick, will come down. Your light will shine, lifting me out of the shadow. Here and now, know where my breakthrough is found. I'm gonna speak my way out of the valley. I'm gonna shout my way up to the mountain. I will take hold of the truth of your promise. I'm gonna praise, I'm gonna praise, I'm gonna push through till every light crumbles. I'm gonna dance in the midst of the rain. I'm gonna rest in the arms of the Father. I'm gonna praise, I'm gonna praise your There's a sound welling up from within me. Heaven's come, calling folks to rise. Wanna sing? So I'm standing tall, hearing the strength of your victory. When you come, every wrong is made right. I'm gonna sing my way out of the valley. I'm gonna shout my way up to the mountain. I will take hold of the truth of your promise.
How you doing, sir?
It's about that time. You gonna come see me one day this week?
Huh?
You gonna come see me one day this week?
I haven't got paid yet.
Yeah, you gonna be this week? Hey, later.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
Just let me know.
Yeah. Morning.
Yeah, just let me know. And you can message me on Facebook and make sure I'm there.
Yeah.
If not, we'll figure it out.
I know. I talked to him yesterday. Morning, Hojo.
Wow, yeah, let's bring in some chairs. Let's give some people some room this morning. It's been a while since we've done one together. It's so good to see you. Oh, we got some more chairs on that side. Yeah. You know what? I look around the room. There's so many of you that have been here for so long, and you've left a legacy already in being faithful to this church year after year after year through every season, ups, downs, sideways, everything. You have left a legacy, and for that, I really do honor you, and I thank you today from the bottom of my heart.
Amen.
And then all the people that have been here since I came 3 years ago, and you came in the door almost immediately with me, and you just continue to support, you continue to share, you continue to grow. I thank you as well this morning. And then all of the new ones who've come in the last year or so, maybe even today, maybe your first time, I just thank you because we've carried the torch and we keep on going. And today I'm excited about the message I have. I want to spur you on because today is a big day for us. But really, this is just a beautiful beginning of what God wants to do. And I've got a picture that I want to paint for you today of how I think we can be, that we can expand not our borders, but the borders that Christ has for us. And it's to reach as many people as we can in the time that we have. And so I'm excited about that. One thing I want to do before we take up the offering today is our youth are getting ready to go to camp. We have 14 that are going to camp all this next week. Super excited about that. Brett, Lori, and Monique, I know you guys are going with them, and y'all have worked so hard. I want to pray for our leaders, and I want to pray for our youth this morning that are going to be going to camp. So if you're a youth leader or if you're going to camp this morning, I want you to come up to the front here at this time. Elders, I want us to gather around. Parents, I want us to gather around. Any other church members that just feel led, I want us to gather around, and I want us to pray for them because I really believe this is the start of something. We have a new youth pastor. We have people that are committed to go to camp. We're looking forward and ahead to our next school year, and it's just time for God just to pour out His presence on our youth, and I think He's getting ready to do it even more than He's ever done it before. And so I want to take time, and I want to pray for them. Cater, will you open us in prayer this morning?
Yes, Lord Jesus. Oh, Lord, I'm emotional today, Lord. I pray for Lord, Lord, Monique, pray an anointing would fall, God. I pray that power would come from the Most High, God, and fall on our leaders, God, as they take them into camp, God. I pray that we would begin to see signs, miracles, and wonders, but above all that, we would see simple salvation, God, as the fire of God begins to consume the lives of our youth, our student ministry, God, and that they would begin to reach people, God, not tomorrow, but today, God. Lord, not sometime in the future, but now, God. We have now, and that is what we account for, God. So I pray, Lord, that you would lead them, God, that you would open up these young hearts, God, to hear your message, God, and to hear your word, God. And they would see you like they've never seen you before, God. I was radically awakened at 12 years old, God, to the power of God. And I pray that even the youngest ones in this ministry, God, would have that experience with you, God, even for my own son, God. You will be there. I pray, God, that this will be a light bulb moment, God, an awakening, God, that transforms the direction of his life and walks him in purpose and power, God. So, God, we give today to you. We thank you for that, and we believe that this week is going to be instrumental in the life and the future of this church, God. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
If the ushers can come forward this morning to receive this morning's offering. If you're a guest of ours, just be a guest today. Enjoy it. Enjoy the presence of the Lord. Jackie, would you pray for us this morning, Bishop? Let's pray. Dear Lord, we thank you once again for allowing us to come. What a wonderful day that you have made, Lord. I pray that our hearts, our minds, choose to rejoice and be glad in it. We thank you for it. Thank you so much for the people that have given, Lord, over the years, over the months, over the days, over the weeks. I just thank you right now, Lord, for those faithful givers and tithers, Lord, that we're able to have something like this today, Lord, to celebrate you and what all you've done, Father. And we just thank you that you've taken what we've given, Lord, and you've multiplied and you've grown it. And I pray that you'll continue to do that, Lord. Give us the wisdom, Lord, to use what we have today, Lord, what we have in the future, Lord, for your goodness, building up and edifying your kingdom, Lord. I thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
You call my name, you made all things. Staring next
And we're never alone, God. There's no place we can go. You said in Psalms, even if I made my bed in hell there for me, God, you are with us, God. And we recognize it, God. And not only do we recognize it, we praise you because of it. In your name I pray. Amen. Andrew, you have to do this right here. Yeah, let's just be sitting. Kids, don't be dismissed quietly, yes? All right. If there's a seat on the inside, can you just move it toward the middle and you guys just filter in and find a seat somewhere, please, so we don't have anybody standing. So today, the big thing, of course, is that we have paid off, if you'll flip back, Chad, I got that screen where it talks about, or it just shows that the church is debt-free or whatever, the basic screen there. Before we get into my message today, I'm going to dismiss the kids before I get into that, but I do want to share a little bit about the process of us getting to where we're at today and what we're doing. Yeah, there we go. And so at the beginning of the year, the elders met and we devised a plan that once a quarter we would pay any money above our operating budget and above our insurance deductible. So that way if something breaks, we still have some money in the bank to cover it. I feel like that's a pretty wise idea. And then we take that money, whatever was left, if it was $1,000, if it was $500, if it was $10,000, we would take that money and we would just start putting it on the church's debt, like our mortgage. So at the time, we were somewhere around $70,000 left in debt, and this was at the end of December when we met, and we had an abundance of about $20,000 left over from the previous year. Above that number, I want to say last year was just record-breaking giving, guys. I would say that it was a little bit more, but it was a lot more. I mean, one year we had one amount, and then the next year is literally $30,000 more that we just had sitting in the bank because of what you give and what you've done, and I just can't applaud you enough for that. So we went ahead in January and we made our first payment, and then we went a little further than that. Like I said, we had a great year financially last year. And immediately then we went to the next quarter and we're able to put like another $17,000 or $20,000 down that quarter. And then we knew going into April and May for the next quarter, we're like $15,000 for being debt free. I mean, this is just a reach for us, and we can do this. And I know we've talked about before, we said, we'd like to build a new sanctuary, we'd like to do some bigger things, we'd like to expand some of our facilities, we would like to do some things with our staff, all these different things we couldn't do financially where we were at. And so we said, okay, we'll go to 2 services, and we went to 2 services, and at times we've had really good attendance, at times it hasn't been so good. It's just kind of one of those things you got to ride out. As you can tell this morning, when we all get together, there's not a whole lot of room in here. And so we went through all that, but the thing we could not build when we wanted to build because we financially were not able. And we had that debt that was hanging over our head. And so what was so awesome is God sent us families, and He sent us people, and He inspired people to give, and our giving just started going up and going up and going up. And we just caught this vision that, hey, we can get debt free. And the financial burden was relieved as of last week. We paid our final installment on the mortgage, and now we are totally, with the mortgage, we're completely debt free there. Amen?
Amen.
That financial burden being relieved, it allows us to confidently plan for the future. Because we know that we can stack, and we can save, and we can get ready. We're going to go back and talk to the banks again about possibly building another building. We're going to go back and start looking into that. We're going to stockpile what we can, all the money that we can to get ready and pay as much of that as we can. We're just going to pray about what God wants us to do next. But first of all, I'd like to thank you for your generosity. You've given, and I believe that God has blessed you because of it. So thank you, number one, for that. Next, I want to thank the elders because their faithful servant leadership has got us to where we are. They keep making wise decisions and going back and operating on your behalf and operating the church's money and always being very considerate to what God wants to do and what will be the best direction for the church. And then last of all, and definitely not last of all, but I want to thank the Lord who took what we have given and has multiplied it over and over. Would you give him a hand?
Amen.
Amen. What I have here is just a copy of the last receipt. Hopefully I won't burn down the church in doing this. But this is a copy of the last receipt where we paid it this week. And we're going to burn it. When we burn it, I just want you to give the Lord praise. I want you to give him a prayer. And I want you to lift up some shouts in here because it's amazing what God has been able to do. Amen? Let's give the Lord a hand.
We open up half the church here. Sorry, it's quite hard.
This burn fruit.
Come on, children. Hey, Matthew.
As they're being dismissed, let's pray. God, we love you. We thank you, God, that you're in the house, that you got a message for today, God. Thank you that you've brought us where you brought us. And Lord, we look to what you're going to do through us, God, through this community. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Before we get started, I've just really been excited. The youth have started sitting up closer to the front over here, and so I get to sit by them and I get to worship. And I would tell you, the youth this morning. I would say this: don't wait on us for revival. Don't wait on us for revival. You know what? Don't look to anybody older than you. You just start seeking the Lord. You know, because you're not in the church of tomorrow, you're in the church of today. And don't wait on anybody. And that goes for anybody that's here, no matter what age you are. But I would say, don't wait on anyone. If you're waiting on the elders, if you're looking, you're waiting on the young people, if you're looking, you're waiting on the old people, there's no excuse for any of that. If we were to start seeking the Lord passionately, He will begin to move in the midst of what we have going on. So this morning what we're talking about as we move forward is we're talking about the upside of being outside. And I think that the life of the church is not inside the building, but it's actually outside the building and what would happen next for us. I've often wondered, why do we need a group to organize an event in order to go out and show others about Jesus? Everybody's like, oh, what's the church's next evangelistic plan? Let me ask you, what is your next evangelistic plan? What is your next evangelistic step? Because I honestly believe this. I honestly believe more people will come to the Lord by you talking to them one-on-one than we will ever reach people in a group setting where we say, okay, let's go out here and we'll give this away and we'll give Bibles away and we'll give clothes away and we'll give food away and we'll give all this stuff away and miss the whole fact that the realistic reality for us moving forward is simply that you need to tell others about Jesus and you need to love people where they're at, doing whatever they're doing, and live a life out before them so that they can see Christ in you. Amen. You know, it was never meant to be an organized event. And as long as we view evangelism as a separate entity outside of our daily life, we will not be connected and not be effective to and with our community. If it's always just a separate event, oh, evangelism is I'm going to go hand out tracts in the park. Oh, evangelism is I'm going to go out here and I'm going to give some clothes away. I'm going to give some food away. If it's always something separate from our life, it will never be an effective part of our life. Amen. Evangelism isn't a backpack I wear. It is a burden that I wear. Right. You understand? It's something that I say, I go to people because Christ came to me. When we look at the people who surround this church, it can no longer be us and them. It can only be a corporate us. All of us. Amen. We should be as much connected with the guy that lives across the street, the guy that owns all the cats over there, and the guy that lives up in front of the church here. We should be connected with them. We should know them. We should get to know them. It's on me that we don't know them by name, and I can't call them by name. That's a problem. Amen. That means for some of you, you're going to have to quit going out on Saturday with them doing whatever you want and coming here on Sunday and acting like everything's okay. You see, if it's us and them, then I feel okay with it. I'll hang out with them when I want to do whatever I'm doing out there that they don't like in the church. And then when I want to hang out and be like the church, I'll go hang out with my church people. See, if it's us and them, then we can excuse that. But if it's a corporate us, then you know what? The burden is that wherever I go, I am the same person there, here, or anywhere. Why don't you intentionally do this? Why don't you start doing business in Weaver a little more? Why don't you stop for gas here when you can and meet the people? I started, when I carried Tim home on Wednesday night, we stopped at this J&M Midway down here. Is that the name of it, Tim? Yeah. Yes, okay, thank you. And we always stop there and we always get something to drink on the way home. And it's funny to me when we go in there because Tim knows everybody. He's like, hey, so-and-so, hey. He knows the cashier, he knows the cashier. He knows the people hanging out in the parking lot. He knows the guy coming up getting gas. He knows everybody. And I got to thinking about it. I thought, man, how effective is he that he can go out here, he can call all these people by name. He can invite them to church. He can tell them where he's coming from. He can tell them what's going on. But here I am, and I come in and I don't know anybody. And I'm supposed to be the evangelist. I'm supposed to be the guy that carries the cross. I'm supposed to be the guy that looks like Jesus, but he's calling them by name. And I've learned that in this process that, you know what, I can do more ministry going in J&M Midway than I can here on Sunday morning sometimes. Why don't you start intentionally doing business here. See, there's an upside to being outside. And the upside is there's people outside who need Jesus. There's an upside to being outside. I've got to think more that I'm just going to come on Sunday morning to my 9:30 or my 11 o'clock service or my 10 o'clock service, and I'm just going to feed. Just feed me. Just give me some more gospel, Pastor. Feed me. So I can get fat and bloated and useless. Oh, I'll just eat. Oh, just give me more word. Oh, just give me more worship. Oh, I don't like that song. I like this song. Well, which one does God like? The one that comes from a pure heart. You know, I've got things that are my favorite, things are not my favorite, but the number one favorite in my life is Jesus. And that's got to be who I go after. And so I'm really passionate. I want to go forward. And I love that the church is pretty much full today. I love that. But you know what's more important? Is that we take what we get here and we carry it out there. Or what I'm doing in here is useless. Amen. You know, Jesus gave us 2 great commandments. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. And the second is this. It says, love your neighbor as yourself. And there is no commandment greater than these. He said the first one is that you have to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And you have to love him with everything. And the second one, you're to love your neighbor like you love yourself. And I know a lot of you love yourself. I honestly believe if you do the first one right, the second one will come naturally. If you'll love the Lord with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength, then the second one, love your neighbor as yourself, will be so easy because it will be naturally born out of you. I've said this before, but a tree naturally bears whatever fruit is that kind of tree. An apple doesn't bear an orange. So if you're rooted in the gospel of Jesus Christ, you know what you'll do? You'll bear the fruit that looks like Jesus. Amen. You don't have to, a tree doesn't have to work to bear the fruit of whatever it is. It naturally doesn't. So if you look at your life, you say, man, I'm not reaching anybody for Jesus. I'm not fired up about the Lord. I don't get up and spend time with the Lord. You know what I would say? I would say, where are you planted? When we begin to see ourselves in the reflection of the love that God has for us, we will be driven to love those around us with greater compassion, greater understanding, and greater patience. You know, we get so impatient. People act crazy, and I see them yelling, and I see them acting a fool, and it makes me mad sometimes, and we get so impatient with them. But when the reality is that Jesus loves me when I act just like him. So what's my job? My job is to love them. My job is to love them. Why? Because maybe if I love them a little bit, they might see Jesus in me because they go, he shouldn't love me. He shouldn't even like me. I treated him like a total jerk. But then they say, oh, but look what he does. He loves me in spite of myself. And then I go, exactly, that's how Jesus loves you. And we want to put ourselves up on a pedestal and everybody else below us, but it's not that way. See, everyone you meet, everyone you pass in traffic, everyone in Walmart has a backstory. And when you are let in on that backstory, it often helps you to understand why their actions are the way they are that day. And I found this out even recently, like with some things. I seen somebody act a certain way, and I was kind of down on them. I was like, I even told everyone, you know, they're lazy, la la la. And then I found out their backstory, and it broke me. See, we're so quick to go, oh, you're just acting like a jerk, and then you realize that there's more to the story than what you're being privileged to hear. And as long as we judge people by the way they look on the surface, we'll never understand what's really going on in their heart. And see, Jesus wants to do a work in their heart. And he understands what's going on in their backstory. And he understands why they're mad. He understands why they're angry. He understands why they speak out against people. And one of the secrets to us reaching our neighbors is that God never told us to fix them, but he did command us to love them. You get what I'm saying? I hear a few amens this morning, but God never told us to fix anybody. It's not my job to fix you. It's my job to love you and let Christ work inside of you and to live out a life before you that you can see and you can say, you know what, there's Jesus there. Amen. If I were sending you out to influence Weaver this morning, one of the first gifts I would equip you with would be the gift of encouragement. It would. I think we do very little encouraging, and we do a lot of, I wouldn't call it judging, but maybe just a little bit of just talking plainly discouragement to people. It's a lot easier to discourage than it is to encourage. When your kid does something bad, it's easy to get on. But how do you encourage them to improve their behavior instead of discourage them to do the behavior they were doing? You know what I'm saying? There's a difference here. There's a difference in the reflection. When Randy comes to me and Randy may have something that he has something to say to me. If he comes to me, all he does is say, man, that was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done that this way. You got to change your way. Or if he comes to me and he says, man, you're doing really good. There's some things, man, it's your number one habit. But you need to focus on this right here. You know what I do? I swell up with pride and adoration for him. He's getting on me, but yet encourages me to rise above. And see, we talk to children all the time, but do we talk them down or do we talk them up? We want them to live for Jesus, but the ones of us who claim to live for Jesus are the ones who put them down. I know this, that no matter if you're 12 years old and on a baseball team, 40 years old and hard at work, or 75 years old and looking back, everyone loves encouragement. Everyone loves encouragement. Look at this here. Let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for he who promised is faithful. Amen. And let us consider how we may spur one another on towards love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another all the more as you see the day approaching. And if this was said thousands of years ago, encouraging each other all the more as the day is approaching, I mean, today we ought to be the greatest encouragers there's ever been. We've had 2,000 years to perk up and to get ready, to march forward, to get behind people and say, you know what, you can do it. Somebody comes up to us and they tell us, they say, oh, I've been messing up. Oh, I've been foul. I've been living my life. However, and what do we want to do? We want to tell them how to fix it. But how about you just tell them, you know what, brother, I'm behind you. I love you. I just want to see you do your best. I know you're better than this. See, we have the answer. But when we do get involved, we choose to keep it a secret. We have the answer. You know, a lot of times we tell people, you know, I don't have the answer, but I know the answer. And you know what? We have to get involved in people's life. It's like this. It says, he who has something to sell and goes and whispers in a well is not as likely to get the dollar as he who climbs the hill and hollers. We've got the one thing to sell. We've got the one thing to give away. But yet we're over there and we're whispering in a well. Oh, you will, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. And we ought to be shouting out, look what we got. We've got life, and life more abundantly than you have. And what you're living for now is dead. But if you'll come over to what we've got something that's greater than anything you've ever experienced before. And I don't grow tired of it. The world is yelling loud. It's yelling louder than we are, and we can't figure out why no one wants what we have. Think of the good. Think of all the good that can come from our lives. And every person in your life you chose to encourage. I try this a lot of times. I'll encourage somebody. I'll speak to them. I'll try to lift them up. Hey, man, just think, daydream about yourself, what God's daydreaming about you. Hey, man, you can do this. I know you're tired of being worn out. You've been doing a lot for us lately, but, man, it has made such a difference. If your focus was more on their good and how they could do better instead of pointing out their bad. Like I said, what if we just made it a habit from now on to stop at the Bearcat down here a couple of times a week, or J&M Midway, and we actually learn the employee's name. And we actually listen to them for a little bit. I found this, that when you listen to people, it don't take you long to figure them out. But you got to listen. And you got to listen, not with thinking of how you're going to respond. You've got to listen just to hear what they're saying. Because we go around and go, I don't know how to reach those people. If you listen to them for a minute, you will. Oh, I can't get any life in there. And you know what? All you can do is plant seeds, right? Plant seeds, plant seeds, plant seeds, plant seeds, plant seeds. And you know what? Eventually someone will come behind you, or you will come behind them, and you will harvest what was out there. What if on Friday nights in the fall we were at the football games, and we just met people, and we just loved on them, and we just treated them like family? We say we're a community church. You cannot be a community church and not be in the community.
Amen.
What if we went to basketball games, band concerts, parades, council meetings? See, you don't impact the community unless you're in it. What if Cornerstone Fellowship was known as the church that loves? Oh, wouldn't that be glorious? Oh, I just love it. We ain't got it figured out. We're not perfect, but man, I just keep going in there. I keep getting something. And I keep getting a little more. And I keep getting a little more. And I'm just eating, and God's He's just gathering my life, and I'm just going up. So what if you looked at those events as the mission field? And what if you infiltrated the culture so you could have influence to change it? You say, oh, man, the schools are never going to change. You don't go over there, they're not. Oh, school to change, then guess what? I've got to insert myself into it. I've got to become like, if I want my job to change, you know what? I've got to be active at my job, making a difference, offering encouragement, love to people. Instead of a culture where we beg others to come to us, what if we love them so much that we went to them? Jesus is he's not asking you to sell everything that you have and move to a foreign country. But he has called you to love your neighbor. We're all afraid. We're like, oh, I can't be a missionary. I can never go to Africa. I can never go to Haiti. And there's people here that go, and they're blessed, and I love them. But there's a whole lot more people that are sitting here every week that the mission field is literally right outside after church. And we step outside and we go back to the real world. But yet we don't go and we don't go tell them. And Jesus is not calling you. He's not saying, give up all your stuff. Give up all your life. It's not the calling of the rich young ruler where you sell everything and you follow me. He's not said that to you, maybe. But what he has said is he said, you know what? The greatest commandment other than loving me with all that you have is to love your neighbor. And we just check that one off and act like it doesn't exist. We don't even know their name. We got to be more active. You say you can never be a missionary, but could you meet people at a ball game? Because let me tell you, I've been to ball games. They're not godly places. You say, oh wow, or oh me, right? It's the reality of it. Is you get to ball games and you see people act how they act, and you, oh goodness, this is tougher than I thought it was going to be. You see people do things and say things and they act a certain way, and we just say, oh, that's not a mission field. Yes, it is. They don't know Jesus. Let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works, and they may glorify your Father which is in heaven. That's what you're called to do. So if I'm at the ball game, well, I told you I can't act like Simon. I got to act like people. I can't get ugly every time I get upset. We need to get, we need to go to work. We need to launch out from here and be purposeful in our movements. Because really this is, if time is ticking and people are dying, and many of them are going to hell, then shouldn't you be drastic? Imagine this morning, just humor me for a minute. Imagine there was a cliff, and below that cliff, there was a great fire burning. And you could smell it, and it's smelling in your stomach. And the smoke burned your eyes, and you start clicking. And then all of a sudden, your child just took off running toward the edge of that cliff. You know, children will just go off in any direction. They don't a lot of times plan their next move. They just literally just run. They don't even look. Running up through the yard like that. But imagine that your kid took off and was running for that cliff. Wouldn't you be drastic? Wouldn't you be drastic? Wouldn't you do everything that you could? Wouldn't your heart sink down in your stomach when you finally called them and kept them from going there? Have you ever been at Walmart before you turn around and your kids come? You start doing this? And they're literally like right here, but you can't see them because you're turning. I've done that. And my heart just sunk and I freaked out. And then after I get them, it's like, I'm so thankful that they're safe, but yet they were never in danger. I mean, it's that thought that yet we're not drastic enough. We don't care about our neighbor. Love your neighbor as yourself, but yet we just write them off. We know they're going to hell, but write them off. I don't even know them. I'm just going to worry about mine, my kids in here. I think that evangelistic impact should start where you're at. But number one, I think God does things on purpose. So God is strategic in his planning and in his planning. So if that's true, then we were meant to be here for such a time as this. Amen. Maybe the only hope that our neighbor has to get saved is us. Amen. Think about that. Yet we'll drive by. We don't know him. We don't know his name. You know, when we took out a year ago, we said we're going to give Bibles away. We gave away like 100 Bibles that day. And we just walked the streets, really, and just gave them out. You know, we left one on this Brewster's little trailer. You know, she wasn't even home. But we did more in that day than sometimes we've done in months. Amen. When we went down, Eric, and we did work at Melissa McLaughlin's trailer right now. We did more in that week than sometimes we do in months. And it has more of an impact, and it brings more life, but yet, you know, we don't do it a lot. And you know what? If we hadn't went out and given that Bible, you know, in 3 months, Miss Brewster was arrested. You know, she's carried off. She's been tried for murder. She's been convicted. And now she's up there, and she's going to serve the rest of her life in prison. It's just a matter of time before I really have no here before she went, and I just said, man, God just gives you seasons. And if you don't take advantage of seasons, you know what the fruit will do? It will die on the vine. Amen. She could have been in that trailer. She could have had no hope. But at least she's got hope where she's at. She can maybe only make so many amends for the life that she has here, but she can plan for the next one. Acts 1 begins the journey of Jesus' disciples after Jesus has ascended into heaven. And this is the last thing that he tells them. He says, but you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes on you. And you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and in all Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth. You know what? I look at that verse. I've always wanted to do foreign missions, but God never let me. I'm serious. I wanted to go to Africa. That was my goal. I thought that would be cool. As a young Christian boy, you're going to be a missionary to Africa. That sounds cool. But God always said, go home. I was in Mississippi. I was going to school at small college. And I was like, Lord, just send me anywhere. I'll go anywhere. And he said, go home. And I said, I don't want to go home. And he said, go home. And I said, I don't want to go home. And then he told me to reach somewhere. And God started at it. He put Anniston in my heart, And I started really running and trying to reach Anniston. I went into the schools. And I just feel like the call for my life is home missions. And I look at this verse and it just confirms that. Jesus tells them, go to Jerusalem. Go to Judea. Go to Samaria. Why? That's the three places closest to them. And then go into all the earth. But we want to erase those first three and just go into all the earth. And Jesus is saying, hey, the guy at Walmart didn't know me. He didn't know me. The lady that works down at Sonic, she don't know me. She don't know anything about me. And he says, go home first. Go Judea, Jerusalem, Samaria. Talk to them first. And then leave off and go erase the rest of the world. We want to go to Haiti. We want to go to China. We want to go to Africa. But we don't know the names of our neighbors. If you want to know your neighbors, you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone and go meet them. And you know what? If you want to have an impact in their life, and if you want to have an impact in anybody's life, torment what torments them, and you'll get a voice in their life. If there's something here that I hate to do, I don't know what it would be. If there's something here that I hated to do, and I just dreaded it every time I come in, and all of a sudden Brett came in one day and he said, man, I'm going to do that from now on. He'd have a voice in my life. Because he took on something that was causing me pain. If you want to have a voice in people's life, it's not talking about all the good things in their life. It's about sharing in the badness. Do you realize that people who are addicted to drugs, alcohol, and all these things, they know they're addicted, you ain't got to keep them? You know somebody who's dealing with depression, you ain't got to go up to them and say, buddy, you're just dealing with depression. I understand I'm dealing with it. I need hope. I need life. I need love. I need to go out from here and do something. See, if you'll torment what's tormenting me, you get a voice in my life. We need to be out. We need to be the ones who erase the lines between congregation and community. Erase the lines between congregation. Oh, there's that congregation. There's that church. There's those people. And here we are. No, that's just my brother over there. He just goes to that church. Oh, that's just my friend over there. He stops by here and sees me ever so often. Oh, I do business with that guy. See, there shouldn't be any lines. When people were meeting in homes, there were no lines. You know what I'm saying? When they were going into each other's homes, when they were going into each other's houses, and they were having these great meetings of God, and it spilled over into the street, it was the community being the community. See, used to, when churches were in an area, they were in that area because the community built that church. I think of Blue Mountain, the mill there, the mill village. If you've been down there, I wouldn't go in there right now, but it's not a great place. But at the time, when it was the mill, it blossomed and it flourished, and work was there, and home was there, and you know what? Church was there because the people came together and they built the church. And so it was a community church. You said, oh, everybody loves it because we're all community. But now what do? We say, oh, where can we be the most effective? Oh, let's go over here. We'll plant in the middle of the city. And oh, there's a lot of business over there. There'll be a lot of foot traffic. People will stop by. Crime's not that bad over there. Let's build the church there. And then this is what we do. Build our walls up. Build our walls up. And there's people coming from all over places, so there's not a lot of connections. Yeah, we're going to church, and I'm not even saying anything against these churches that do this, but I'm saying that we go to church, and then when people walk in the door, they don't look like everybody else. Why? Because it's not a community anymore. And you don't look like each other. So when they walk in, they say, who are all these people? I don't know any of them. So guess what you become? A foreigner. And nobody wants to be a foreigner in an unfamiliar city. They walk in the back, and I don't want people to walk in here from Weaver and not know anybody. I don't want them to walk in and be confused about who we are. I don't want them to walk in and not feel welcome. I don't want them to walk in and stand in the back looking for a seat and nobody will be willing to give it to them. You know what? If we have to sit in the floor, I want us to sit in the floor, whatever we got to do. But you know what? I want it to be like, this is just an extension of who we are. No longer living our life in here and their life out there. We need to intertwine with what's happening out there so that we can have influence in the tapestry that is our community. You know what? You got to really love people messing on. I mean, sometimes our kids aren't perfect, but we love them in the middle of that mess. So we have the ability to do it. I have the ability to love somebody who doesn't do everything right. I've learned that a long time. It's just like a job. I don't want to work. I don't have to love it to work it. But with people, you know what? I can love them even if they don't love me back. God has given me the ability to do that. Jesus loved a lot of people, didn't love him back. And then some of the ones that claim to love him took him to the cross. We can love people. We have to in order to have influence. I love the idea who loves the idea of signs, miracles, and wonders? Let's just give a hand up. Right? Well, I love signs, miracles, and wonders. But you know what I love more than that? Simple salvation. And we'll bypass simple salvation to try to get the signs, miracles, and wonders, and then we won't have the foundation to stand on. I love signs, miracles, and wonders. I wish they happen all the time. They would just show the power of God. But you know what else shows the power of God? Somebody coming from lost to faith. And you know what? If we did that every week, you know what? We wouldn't even need it. We wouldn't even thirst for signs, miracles, and wonders because we'd be so fired up about people coming to Jesus. If signs, miracles, and wonders led to simple salvation and bring it on. In Acts, the miracles were to prove his power. It was to prove that Jesus was who he said he was. We need to want the miracle for the meth addict as much as we want for the buddy. Amen. We will pray the fire down for someone who's about to lose their baby. Will you do it for the guy in the trailer that's burning fire at the time? You got to want the miracle for the meth addict just like you want for the mother. See, we need to hope that the miracle will provide the power that the addict needs to break the addiction. The mother may not need the power as much, but let me tell you, the guy on meth, he does. The guy who's struggling, who's got a problem, who's got an addiction, he needs to see the miracle. Why? So that he knows that he can have the power to overcome anything that comes against him. See, God may change my circumstances, but he's not changed by my circumstances. He's a God of free will. Look at this verse here. Then he said to his disciples, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his harvest field. I look at this verse, and I realize that the prayer is not for abundance because abundance is already there. The prayer is for people who wake up and go to work. Amen. God's already provided the abundance. It's already, you say, oh, God, I just need more. He's saying it's out there. You want revival? Go get it. You want to love my people? Go love them. He's saying it's out there. Go get them. The harvest is plentiful. There's an abundance. But there's not enough workers. The fields are always in season according to this verse. Meaning you don't have to wait to harvest. What is true is some fruit is ready when you go to the field. And some needs more time. But a responsible farmer keeps coming back until it's ready. You know what I'm saying? Man, you don't plant a garden, pick it one time, and then just forget it. Everything will be dead. You go back and you check it, and the next day you get a little bit more. And next day you get a little bit more. You don't neglect what's not ready simply because it's not ready. You wait until it is. It's the same way we spread the gospel. I don't neglect what's not ready. I share the gospel. I love them. You know what? They're not ready. You know what? I'll come back tomorrow. You know what? I'll come back tomorrow. You know what, brother? I love you. Jesus is the way. He says, I'm trying, Pastor, but I'm just not ready. I don't neglect him and leave him and let him die on the vine. He keeps checking the condition of the fruit. He doesn't neglect the field and let them die on the vine. His livelihood is built on the success of the harvest. So he patiently tends the fields, harvesting when it's ready and waiting when it's not. You know what the beauty of a harvest is? Is that you can harvest where you don't plant, but you can't harvest where you don't work. And understand what I'm saying? You can harvest where you don't plant. You know, right in my backyard right now, there are blackberries in my backyard. I didn't plant them. If I did, they probably grows with them. There are blackberries in my backyard. I go get some of them and I put them in my yogurt in the morning and that kind of thing, you know. Feel kind of like, you know, like it's like a really cool thing. You know, I'm all, organic today. Blackberries. But I got these blackberries growing in my backyard. But you know, I didn't do anything to make them grow. I just go and pick them and ate them. If I don't pick them, you know what they do? They turn around and die. There's fruit all in this neighborhood. You didn't plant. There's fruit in this neighborhood right now. People ready to accept Jesus. You didn't do anything to get them there. But if you'll go out, you'll gather the harvest. Amen. You'll take it. But if we don't, we'll let it neglect and we'll let it die on the vine. See, when we share Jesus and someone says yes to him, we'll often be reaping from a field that someone else worked. But we'll never reap from a field that we do not work. Work is intentional. You don't produce a harvest by sitting in your refiner. And you will never evangelize where you don't go. Amen. We keep having church in here all the time. We keep meeting. All of us keep coming back every Sunday. We can do this till I die. And we just keep on. Or we can take what we learn. We can go plant it outside. We can go gather some that's outside that's just waiting because the harvest is plentiful. That means there's people to win, but the workers are few. Look here. Jesus went through all the towns and villages, teaching in their synagogues, proclaiming the good news of the kingdom, and healing every disease in cities. And when he saw the crowds, he had compassion on them, because they were harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his harvest field. Jesus had compassion on them. When Jesus saw the condition of the people of the town, he was moved with compassion. He said, pray for the workers, that the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. That means that all that couldn't be harvested will not be harvested. If there is a plentiful harvest, but not enough to gather, it means that it will die in the field simply because no one would go get it. So there's this huge harvest, and I can't get it all by myself, but I don't go get any more workers, and so I just let this abundance that's freely to me die. And it convinces that there will be people. When I look at this and what the Lord is saying, what it tells me is if you can't gather all the harvest, then some of it has to die on the vine. And if something's dying on the vine, what does that represent? It means that there's people that could go to heaven, but they won't because no one will go out and ask them, and they'll go to heaven. Isn't that what he's saying? I mean, if it's not, then show me how it's not. But because if the harvest is plentiful, in other words, there's plenty of people to reach for me, but the workers are few, then you can't bring in all the harvest. So they're dying on the vine. And who do you think is going to be responsible for the ones that die on the vine? The ones that didn't harvest. So you can come in here and you can eat the harvest all week. You can just keep eating. Or you can go out and get it. I believe that God is going to say, you know what, you had nice churches, you had great Sunday meetings, you had talented teachers and preachers, wonderful singers and worshipers, and you all met together. But what about the sheep who wandered away? What about the harvest in the field? I needed you 7 days a week, and you only wanted to work one. The last thing that Jesus tells them in Matthew 28 is this. He said, go, ye therefore, and teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Son, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always, even unto the end of the earth. See, you see a pattern here. Jesus is leaving, and we see it in the story for Matthew, and we see it in the story for Acts, and both times the last thing on his lips is the word go. Don't hold this gift to yourself. Tell them to repent and be saved. Tell them about the hope of heaven. See, it is the truth that sets people free, so why would you not want to share it? The change in people's life is the upside of being outside. This room is a place of prayer. It's a place of worship and planning. But it's not the man to be in. Churches were meant for us to come and learn so that we can take it out. Not so that we can assume and never give it away. What happens when you eat and you don't work it off? You get larger. You increase. Your stature becomes rotund. You're bigger. That's what happens share and we pass things along. Now, you know what? I call a lot of you brothers. And that's the term that I don't take lightly. And I know in church that a lot of times, well, brother, sister, this, but when I call you a brother, I really mean it. It's not a term that I take lightly. I call you this intentionally because I want you to know that I love you more than a friend. That's the truth. I tell you, if I say, hey, brother, it's because I really do love you and I really care about you. And I want you to know that you're more than a friend and you're more than an acquaintance to me. See, we are a family, and when we're family, I'm willing to hurt for you. And I'm willing to go to the places that are difficult and share in your pain. See, both the one who makes men holy and the one and those who are made holy are the same family. Look at this verse right here. Both the ones who make men holy and those who are made holy are of the same family. So Jesus is not ashamed to call them what? Brothers. He says, I will declare your name. I will declare your name to my brothers in the presence of the congregation. I will sing your praises. And again, I will put my trust in him. And again, he says, here am I and the children God has given me. Jesus is saying, I'm calling you brothers because you're not just acquaintances to me. You're not just people that are passed on in my life. See, when we were at Life Group last Sunday night, my heart was full. And I looked back and I thought about everyone that was there. And everyone, what I realized is that everyone needs a family. And you know what? We're all different. And I look at the family reunion, it's like that. Have you ever been at your family reunion and you looked around and you thought, some of these people are crazy. Some of you are crazy. It's okay though. You know, we gotta have the crazy Uncle Eddie in our family. You know, the guy that's outlandish, the guy that does weird things. But you know what? We can all be a family. And what can we give our community that sits outside our doors? We can give them a family. You know what family does? Family always excuse your bad behavior. A family will love you in spite of your bad behavior. Everyone needs a family. We're all different, but we're all important. If the Son of God would adopt us into his family, then why can't we bring anyone else in? You know what? If you have trouble loving people on the outside, have you ever thought just for a minute, you know, say, man, I just have trouble with people. Some people really get on my nerves. Have you ever thought just praying and saying, God, help me to love them? I know you love them, and I want to be like you. Just help me to love them. Help me to care about them. Help me to see them. See, I've been brokenhearted before because God changed my perspective about someone who initially got on my nerves or made me angry. See, when you begin to see people the way he sees them, it helps you understand why they act like they do. And then you can start loving them for who they are. Look. A new commandment I give you, love one another as I've loved you, so you must love one another. So it's really not even an option. Jesus said you got to love one another. And we can't excuse it and just walk away from it. God has given us a church in the middle of Weaver. And we have the responsibility to make it grow, not for numbers, but for souls. And he didn't put us here to drive through on the way to it. He put us here to become it as we serve. Amen. This is our field. What will our harvest be? If Jesus spent his final hours washing feet, then I should spend my day serving others, loving others, and meeting others. And everybody needs a family. You know, when I think about families, where's Tim? Is he still here? Oh, Tim's in the back. You know, I met Tim at the baseball field. A lot of you know the story. But if you knew all of Tim's story like I know all of Tim's story, you would see just what a great work that God has done in his life. You would see the things that make it worth it for us to go out and meet people in the community and love people and develop relationships with people and love them right where they're at. I mean, one day, Tim, when you get ready, I'm going to let you share your story, just a little bit of it, so people can understand what God has brought you through, because it's pretty miraculous. I can tell you about another lady. I can tell you about Melissa McLaughlin. A lot of you know her. I'm with our former youth pastor, John, and his car breaks down in Panama City. And while he's getting it worked on, I'm talking to a lady, and I just kind of bring up, like, hey, I'm a pastor, back in Alabama. She's like, what part of Alabama? And I'm like, oh, near Anniston. She's like, well, where near Anniston? And I'm like, this is getting weird. And I'm talking to her, she says, well, I have a house in Weaver. And I'm like, I'm in Panama City, the car's broke down. I'm talking to this lady. She's got some things going on. She's telling me about it. She told me that she had cancer and that she was trying to beat it and all these things. And she says, yeah, she said, somebody broke into my house in Weaver and they've done all this damage to it. And me and Johnny just got through talking about doing some community outreach. And she says, my house is on Weaver Lane. That's this road. It runs out here. I'm like, yes, Lord. What do you want me to do? I'm like, can it get any clearer? I mean, some of us having tests done for her cancer. And she always says, y'all make me feel so much better when I leave here. I feel like I've got it. See, I can tell you about Tim. I can tell you about Melissa McLaughlin. And then I can tell you this last one. And tomorrow, when the guys leave for camp, there'll be a boy there named Coley, and he's going to camp with Brett and them. And we just met him at the ball field. And I liked him, he liked me, we started talking, and we kidding each other, playing around. But you know what? Then we offered the invitation, man. Hey, we got camp coming up, would you go? And you know what? He's going to have a chance for his whole life to be changed. You got to work where you're at. Wherever your feet are is where your mission is. You know, so if it's Tim, if it's Melissa, if it's Cole, wherever it is where my mission is. But you know what? We've got to be mindful that there's fruit to harvest. You know, I'm not just attending a ball game, but I'm actually carrying Jesus with me. Hey, you know, I don't go up and give them 5 steps to salvation. I don't go up and paint some glorious picture. I don't go up and tell them turn or burn. I don't do any of that. I simply introduce them to who I am and invite them along on the journey. I just invite them along on the journey. Hey, you want to come to church for sometime? No? Okay. Next time, you know that? Hey, man, you want to go to church for sometime? Sure. Okay, let's go. Well, you know, Tim and I, we've known each other 2 weeks, and he says, you know, I think Skylar would like to go with his son. So he says, okay, Skylar's coming. So I called him one afternoon, he says, you know, I think we're going to go with Skylar. And then he just kept coming back. See, it ain't my job to change him. It's my job to love him and invite him. You know what I love and invite him? God does the work. And you know what? God does a lot of work. If you get involved in people's mess, the beauty of it is you get to be involved in their miracle. And there's nothing like that. Yeah, I got dirty. I've been down. I've been out. But if you get involved in their mess, you get involved in their miracle. I'll be honest, sometimes there's more mess than miracle. Sometimes there's more miracle than mess. See, we get involved in people's lives, we can then have a voice. Why? When you're involved in somebody's life, it's like this. If I'm in a crowded room, there's 400 people in there. And my dad shouts my name. And you know I recognize it every time. Why? Because it's a familiar voice. So who do you think has impact on my life? My Father does. You know, if you want to be involved in people's lives, become a familiar voice in their life. Shout out. I mean, if I yell at Tim across the parking lot, he knows who it is. We know each other. If he yells at me, I know who he is. It's because we're familiar with each other's life. I wouldn't have any voice in his life if I was just a random noise in the crowd.
You gotta look upon.
But people don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. You can be a great Bible scholar, Kenny Drew. You can have all of it together. It ain't going to matter to nobody. They'll know how much you care. If they don't think you love them, I don't care what you say. If your kid doesn't think you love them, I don't care what you say. I want you to be thinking, I'm closing out. I'm really almost done. I got like 3 lines. I want you to be thinking about what you can do. I want you to be thinking about where you can go. I want you to think about getting outside of your comfort zone and about being intentional. And not just being in the race, but Paul said, I'm in the race to win. There's a lot of people in the race. And you know what they're doing? They're all looking at the crowd, they're looking everywhere else, and they're in the way of us who are trying to win. They're cluttering up the lanes. They're making it harder for us because they're not really in it to win it. They just want to be part of the race. They want to get the participation award, and I'm trying to get the big trophy. You know what? I'm trying to catch up to the kingdoms in the front. You know, I'm running hard, and I want to win the race. These short legs are getting it just as hard as we can, and they're tired. But you know what? I run to win the race. Why? Because I want to receive the prize, and the prize is Jesus. Amen. Look at this right here. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, and be ye lift up, ye everlasting doors, that the King of glory shall come in. You know what? The key to us being outside, we've got to swing the doors wide. Amen. And if we will swing the doors wide and say, you know what? Come in here and let me love you. Come in here and be part of what we got going on. Come in here, let me encourage your kid. Come in here, let me encourage your family. Let me tell you how God can change your marriage. Oh, if you'll say that, if you'll swing the gates open wide, you know what? They'll come in, and in with them will the King of glory come in. If we swing wide the doors of this church, the King of glory will come in and be with us. And you know what we'll be? We'll be life-savers, life-changers, and radical movers for God. Amen. Amen. That's the vision that I have going forward is, you know, we can't sit still. We can't be quiet. You know, I'm so thrilled that Brett and Lori, they're working with the youth, and they're getting there. I mean, it's just awesome. I mean, I'm glad they're getting do. See, if he gets involved now, then he'll be injected into all of their lives and everywhere they go. Because see, where Coley is, he's got a sister and a brother. And so Brett will have contact with Coley, and then, you know what, it just spreads to the family. And you know what, then it goes from there. And then, you know, his mom. And then his mom is, she's not married to her Coley's daddy, but says she got a boyfriend, and he's got kids. And you know what, then his dad's got a new wife and a new baby, and he's got 6 children. And you know, we have access to all of them through one person. Why? Because we got our way to the door. But unless you go outside, you'll never see the upside of being outside because you'll be trapped inside. You know what you do inside, you eventually die. I've seen this in churches so many times. We get this mentality, and we look out and say, oh, the fields are right for harvest, let's go get them. Let's go get them, and we'll get excited about it. And nobody cares about anything that's going inside because they're so focused outside. It's like they're standing on this edge of a plate, and they're just looking and they're saying, where do we go? What can we do? The world is wide open to us. The possibilities are endless. And then eventually what they do is they grow stale, and they turn this way, and they start looking at the inside of the plate, and they look, and they go, oh, there's a tear in the carpet. Somebody called the board. Oh, this paint color, I don't love this. Oh, let's get mad about it. Let's get a team over here. This is red paint team. This is blue paint team. And God's going, where am I at? What happened to me? What happened to the harvest? We're looking at our tools and we're not looking at the fields. It's so easy to be distracted because the devil loves to distract us. Worship team, will you come this morning? If you got a pulse, you got a purpose. So why don't we ask God what our purpose is? If you're 5 or you're 95 and you're still alive, you got a purpose. And God may use one or the other to do great, miraculous, awesome things. But we got to be intentional in saying, you know what, when I accepted Jesus, I accepted the call to the cross. And that's to lay down and die and go follow him. Let's stand together this morning. I'm looking for people who don't want to just sit in a church, but they want to be the church. I'm looking for people who want to love the people that are difficult. Because let me tell you, it's not the average Joe that can love somebody that's difficult. It's not the average Joe that can love the person who calls you at 1 and 2 in the morning and they're drunk again, and they call it again, and they're upset. It's not the average person that can love the kid that's real rebellious. But yet he still comes for some reason. Why? Because he feels love here. It's not the average person who can love other people's children and can raise love even though that their parents aren't doing it. It's not the average person that can look past the terrible background, the backstory, the horrible things and not judge them. It's not the average person. So I'm looking for some people that aren't average. They want to love Jesus and want to love people so much that we just naturally explode in here. It's not about numbers, but it is about souls. And evidently, numbers is important to God. You ain't one of those books out. That book's pretty hard to keep up with. So let's say worship, let's say praise. Let's say, God, open me up, whatever. I don't even care, Lord. If it's to buy a hot dog at a football game and I can bring people to you, then I'm going to do it. If it's giving money to the cheerleading team, if it's going over here and encouraging somebody at a basketball game, if it's just befriending a 15-year-old boy at a baseball game, that's what I want to do. look forward to the day that you return and I can just lay down all the crowns, Lord, that I have and just give them all back to you, God. Thank you, Lord, that we're in this race and we can run it to win, God. And if there's people out there who just need to know that we love them and that you love them, God. So today, God, help this to be a starting point for us, God. As you blessed us and we're financially able to do more than we've ever been able to do, God, I pray that you would help us, God, to use it wisely for whatever purpose, God, that you want, and not anything else or anything less, God. In your name I pray. Amen. Following service, we're going to have a fellowship lunch out here. If you didn't bring anything, don't worry about it. Just stay and enjoy. Just come out and meet us and talk to us. If you're visiting today, you're welcome to be here. Be careful going across there the parking lot because I know some will be leaving. But let's pray for the food right quick. That way when we get out there and get set up, we'll be ready to go. God bless us food.